Hello, everybody. Welcome to another business education webinar brought to you by Action Coach of Jacksonville. Today, we're going to be focusing on success principles for the 21st century. Today, we're going to be focusing on 6 success principles that will make you and your business stand out from the pack. These principles, when applied, we feel that will define the fine line between success, mediocrity, and failure itself. So again, I want to welcome everybody. My name is Steve Goranson. My company is Action Coach Business Coaching. I've owned and operated the North Florida office of Action Coach for the past 15, 16 years, or actually since 2004. And Action Coach itself is the world's largest business coaching organization with over 1,000 offices in 75 different countries around the world. And really, one of the things that I love most in life is helping others through my passion of goal setting, organization, and building engaged teams and supporting small business owners. You know, to get and really to help them get their businesses working harder so they don't have to, and really most importantly, we can enjoy more life. The business should just be a vehicle to help us get more life. And so with that said, I want to share with you why I became a business coach, and you'll see how it ties into the rest of the presentation. And you see, I didn't really understand my why until right before my father passed away, and really it didn't hit me until after he had actually passed away. You see, my dad, he was a Korean War vet. You know, he came home, met my mom, they got married, boom, started a living. And you know, he had a high school education, and so everything that he went to the school of hard knocks, if you will. So he got so he was self-educated. He was able to eventually get a job as a finance manager of a department store, the furniture department, in Chicago on the famous Maxwell Street on Chicago's South Side, if anybody's aware of that. Lots of cool stories about that if you want to share one day. But you see, he had this passion, and he couldn't just sit behind a desk all day long. And so, to make a long story short, he followed his passion and he started his own business. And he was really good at what he did. He was really good at his trade, but frankly, he sucked at being a business owner. He knew how to do the work of the business, but no one ever taught him how to be a business owner. So really, to eventually, he had to close his business. We lost the home that I was raised and grew up in, you know, and all this really didn't come out until like a week or so before he passed away. And I was talking with him about what I was doing and how I'm helping business owners, and as I like to say, is help them work smarter, not harder, so they could have more life. And you know, you see, I didn't see my dad that much when I was growing up because he was always working. I only really saw a lot of him is when he would take me into work with him, sometimes on Sundays. And, you know, and then it just sort of hit me that, you know, if there would have been someone like me in his life to help my dad, his life would have been so much easier. He could have saved his business. My life's, he would have been so much happier in his business. My mom's life would have been easier. My sister's, my life would have been so much easier. And that's why my passion and my mission is to help my clients work smarter, not harder, so they can enjoy more life. And, you know, at Action Coach, we have this proven system to help businesses succeed. So as a business coach, I help my clients sharpen their business intuition by showing you the factors that make your businesses thrive. And what we're going to be talking about today is, what are those factors? What are the success principles that will make a business thrive? So when we sit down, now you heard a little bit about what I stand for, what I'm about. I want you to think about, what is it that you stand for, right? You know, a company's value lies at the heart of the business and serves at its foundation for starting and growing a successful company. You know, so when you identify your company's core values, this is a fundamental step on the road to success, because once you establish what those values are, you now have the answer to a very important question. why do I do what I do? You know, and I think that that's why I left, I led with my why, you know, because it's what I stand for. It's my, like, what my company and my service and what I am promoting itself. So it's, you know, it's why I am passionate about doing what I am doing. So let's look at how I help some of my clients. How do I help them understand their why, so it becomes a lot easier than it took me as many years as it did for me to get mine? Because you sort of know what it is, but it needs to get brought up. So a lot of what I'm talking about today, you know, and it's something that I cover in a workshop that I do for with my clients right at the beginning of a coaching process, and it's called a strategic alignment. And one of the things we start off with is we start with we talk about is a company values. We sit down, we talk about business structure, we talk about what their core focus is, what their marketing strategies. It's all the basic strategies they need to run their business. But the most important one is helping them to find their values, because it's our core values that's our company's DNA. So the approach of defining that should be well considered. You know, it's not a cookie cutter approach or a one size fit all. It really needs an honest assessment, because this is what's going to set us apart from other businesses. So here are some of the different steps that I take my clients through, and to lead them through and helping them define their own values. I can't tell you what your values are, because they would be my values, right? So the first thing we need to do is sit down and get a sheet of paper and make a list of what you believe your company represents, right? What's the how does it project itself out in the community? Make a list of maybe a few situations that best represents what your founding principles are. So now you can sort of see it in action, if you will. And then the other thing, this is really an important step, is I get my clients to think about who are the people or businesses that you admire most, and what are the values that these people portray. You know, and because those are things that you're connecting to them on, and that you most want to be like. You know, we need to step back and ask us what's the current culture of our company, because whether we've created it or not, it has been created, and most likely, if you didn't create it, your team has, and now they are. And it was created around they used to call the water fountain. Maybe it's the coffee pot. Maybe in today's day and age, it's the Zoom meeting, whatever it is. But then we need to sort of make a list of what we hope to achieve as a company. So finally, we sit down and we make a list of values that fit our company, from breaking all this stuff down. And then we need to really pare it down until we land on a few that really nail what the heart of what our business and what our business believes. And one of the things that I did is I actually, over the years, as I added a step to it, and because what I found was that there was sort of a disconnect sometime between these values and team members living these values, because so what we did is we turned these values into an action, into behavior. Because you think about it, there's a common value that a lot of businesses have, is integrity, right? But that integrity can mean a lot of different things to a lot of different people. You know, people understand behaviors or action more clearly. So for example, instead of saying integrity, what would that behavior be? How would integrity look if somebody was acting with integrity? And so a lot of what you could say is do what I say, because when we say do what I say, we are living, we have integrity, right? We're going to do what we say. And our team can now grasp their head around, they know what that integrity means. And everybody should now be able to sort of define that even for themselves. So hopefully that makes sense. So we want in defining goals is the first, our values is the first part. But then once we established our core values, we need to create a foundation to work from. The next step to your company's success is setting goals from where you want to grow or go as a company. So having these accomplishable goals, is, success is the journey towards the achievement of predetermined worthwhile goals. So one is success is a journey, but there has to be predetermined and worthwhile goals, because our goals will grow our business by moving it forward. And what's the thing is, we're going to fall forward instead of backward. So it'll cultivate a alignment within the company, teamwork, collaboration. It helps you you and your team to know where the business is heading. It sort of helps creating and starting with a common goal that we all can wrap ourselves around. We'll talk about that a little later. So when our goals are clearly defined, our employees work now with purpose towards that end, toward that goal. And it is with that purpose that teamwork and collaboration comes about. It's what makes it possible. So if you want, and we're not going to spend a lot of time on goal setting here, but if you want to learn more about goal setting and how to create really good goals, I did another previous webinar called Conquering Your Goals, and you can find that on my website. If you're down there on the screen, you can see actioncoachjax.com. And check there. There's a tab up there that says pre-recorded webinars. You'll also find this one later as well there. So let's now go into is we set our goals. So now the next step we actually have to is what actions do we need to take to get there. So that setting the goals is the first step. So we must sort of set up ways to measure our progress towards achieving that goal. Right. And this is how we hold ourselves accountable to making sure that we're making the appropriate steps. So there's sort of some guidelines that you've probably heard these before, but I want to sort of go over them again because they're really the basics of goal setting. And it's going to help you establish, monitor, and create achievable goals. So the first area is that goals need to have specificity. There needs to be a specific goal. I want to lose weight is a great idea, but it's not a goal, right? Even if I want to lose 25 pounds is a little bit more specific, but it's not really the goal. You don't want to lose 25 pounds, but maybe I want to weigh 195 pounds, or I want to weigh 200 pounds, or I want to weigh 165 pounds. That's the goal, right? And then, so the next one is that achievable? What will you gain by achieving this goal? Better health, whatever. The weight loss is an easy one because that's the goal that everybody sets for themselves and sometimes isn't as successful as we want. But so once we have specificity, measurability, achievability, but most importantly, there also has to be relevance. And if this is missing, sometimes that's why we don't work on our goal. So what is relevance? Is what does achieving this goal mean for your business? Is how is it tied to our why? If we cannot connect our goals to our why, we feel like we're going through the motions. But if we connect it to our why, now we have a sense of excitement of something that we are living that's all part of us. And then the last one is timeliness, is we need to have a specific time frame to achieve our goals. It was okay, if I want to weigh 195 pounds, it's like, okay, great. That's just a great idea. But if I want to weigh 195 pounds by August 1st, boom, now I have some more accountability. I can't let myself off so easily, right? So now we've gone ahead, we started following our goals, but how do we stay to them? How do we stick to them? Is we have to create a rhythm within working our day-to-day activities towards achieving our goal. So, we have our company's values and we put our goals into play, but we need to be able to execute our strategy. And one way to do that is creating this operating rhythm. We need to get into a flow, if you will, right? And sort of like how I help my clients create a flow towards their long-term goals is every 90 days, we're stepping back and we're looking at, okay, what did I achieve over the last 90 days? What's worked? What doesn't work? What do I need to achieve moving forward based on where I am right now to make sure that I'm on target, right? And then my ongoing coaching sessions are involved in, we create a rhythm there of on a weekly or bi-weekly basis, we're checking in and saying, okay, let's look at our plan. Are we on or off target, right? So So often an operating rhythm is set by holding regular meetings like this, with your team to gauge this process, a feeling of how your employees are feeling about the work at hand and how they're all working together. The main idea here, again, is what I said before, is are we on track or off track for the goals? If we're off track, then we need to have the discussions on solutions, have these be solution-based meetings to get us back on track. What will overcome this obstacle, right? So again, this is part of what I do as a business coach and helping my clients. So regular scheduled meetings is a great way also to get feedback to make sure that we're getting on our goals. So we're on the way. We had this rhythm. So part of one of the next success principles is creating a marketing plan, because in terms of strategy, it's in of our business is how do we differentiate our product and our service from other companies, right? We want to showcase our brand in a unique, innovative way, and we want to do that besides our logo and design, but our brand is the personality of our company and a product. It represents who and what you are, and you need to define what makes it great. And that's what we need to and again, it has to tie back into why does your business exist? Why did you start your company in the first place? So your marketing plan should center around winning and basically in keeping customers by showing them how your product and service is solving their problems or helping them get what they want. That's the basic goal of marketing in a business. We're either solving our clients' problems or helping them achieve one of their goals of what they want. So, and our goals or the strategies, it's going to include a variety of different tactics that's going to be part of our action plan, and which is going to include numbers, right? Because marketing is math, right? Is how do we measure our marketing? Is how many leads are we generating? How many sales we do? What we need to know is how much does it cost me to buy that lead? How much does it cost me to buy that customer? Because then we know if our marketing is working, is it connecting to our target market? So, and again, it really comes back to knowing what we're selling and how it sets us apart and makes us unique, and who our target audience is, and how we're going to track that progress. It's really as essential of how we market our brand. So then the next step from a marketing is sales, and sales and marketing have to speak the same language. And a lot of times within companies, marketing is going one way and sales is doing it another way. Why? Because sales is more in touch with the clients on a day-to-day basis. They feel their pain. Marketing is looking at it from this more abstract point of view. So we need to sit down and sort of take a look at what are we selling, right? It's critical to analyze, this point before we move on, is what does our product or service do for the client? We need to make a list of what are the features and how does it change or affect the user? What does it do for the customer? And getting really clear on what you are selling, or better, who and how we're helping. This is going to allow us to then really focus more on our target market, who our best customers are. So who are they? So when we're detailing our target audience, it's going to help us measure the success of our product or service by providing a focused look at a market to see if we're hitting the mark. So our target market is this group of people that am I serving them? Am I a problem solver for them? Am I giving them something that will help them reach their goals, right? So what type of people are we targeting? We might look at age, gender, demographic, location, earnings, or family structure. You may choose based on lifestyle. If you're B2B, maybe it's more on the type of business we're targeting, the size, product, service, geographic location, or you may go deeper. And that's what I like to do, is sort of, for me, I don't want to just coach any business. My ideal client looks like this: is they are big thinkers. They want to make a difference. They thrive at being a great leader. They want to be the best in the industry. They're committed to both professional and personal growth, and they understand the value of investing in themselves. And and that again is my ideal. And most of my clients are going to fit 2 or 3 of those, and then my job as the coach is to help them and bring out those other characteristics as well. But whatever your target is, you will want to be specific to help you assess what's going to really set you apart from your competition from other businesses out. So that leads us to the next thing is, how do we set ourselves apart? Our existing potential customer is the basis for our marketing. So, okay, it's simple, right? So, so we have to make sure that we're serving the customer when we market the product, right? So I have a client right now that's in the process of actually firing a bunch of clients that's probably worth about $100,000 worth of business. Why? Because we've really determined that they no longer fit their target market. These are their D clients. And what they're doing, and what they found is that they were spending so much time with these D clients that they weren't very profitable, that it was sucking time away from them to being able to serve their A and their B clients, which are going to be their most profitable and actually get their best referral sources, right? So the marketing tactics that we're going to employ to sort of to reach these audiences as well, we use social media, we use networking, or there's still traditional media out there like radio, TV, billboards, newsletters. Those are becoming very popular right now. Email, and the like. These are just tools or vehicles for us to reach our customers. So we have to figure out is how our customers use each of these tools, and then to use that this is my form of communicating how we can help them, right? So what sets our business, our product, our service apart is how we present our product and how we want to interact with the consumer out there, with our potential clients. Is, how do we solve their issues or help them get what they want? I don't know how many times I've said that already, but that's really the key of what we're looking at. So provide the customer with the why of your product, not what it is or how you created it. Tell your story. It's the why that gets back to the core of your company, your values and your purpose. It sets your product apart because no other product or service shares your core values or reasons for creating that product. It's a unique quality that sets you apart from everyone else. And a great example is if you look at both Dell and Apple. They both sell computers, technology companies, and whatnot. But people understand there's a culture around Apple to where they have this very loyal following, to where if they come out with a new product, people will stand out all overnight to get there when the store opens in the morning to buy it at full price. So and then there's Dell. I'm a loyal Dell user, right? My last 4 computers have been Dell, but every time I needed a computer, what did I do? I didn't stay overnight waiting for the store to open up in the morning or buy it online that way. I waited for the computer I wanted to go on sale. I waited for their sales. And so I never bought a Dell product at full price, right? So again, it's about the culture and tying to what they do for each other. So now the next part is our team, right? Is we don't build our company, our team does. Employees create your company culture. And without that culture, your marketing efforts are basically in vain. It's the employees that execute on your vision. So we have to cater to our employees. And this is as important as our focus on our customer. Our customer is our outside customer. And then we have our inside customer that we need to nurture and whatnot. Those are our employees, right? So to maintain a strong culture, there's like 4 or 5 different things that we need to put forth. First thing that we need to do is we need to create a common goal. We need to create and define our vision and something that's going to enroll and engage our employees. And having this common goal or this specific vision allows employees to work with a sense of purpose. A purpose that feeds into a sense of happiness is being part of something greater than themselves. Then we need to create and nurture collaboration between is being an open team dynamic. Communication, transparency gives employees a sense of ownership over the work that they perform. And then we need to promote performance. We need to stand firm in our core culture. We need to create an environment that is a living, breathing reflection of those values, but we need to be a role model for performance and empower employees to do their best work by setting examples for success. So that's what we should do as business owners and as leaders within our organizations, but also too as other leaders within your organization as well. And then we need to create a culture of learning, right? We have to learn to earn, as the great Jim Rohn would say. We need to provide our team with tools to engage in learning and to be open to new ideas. And then the last aspect here is that I want to talk about is that we have to ensure results. So by being transparent when it comes to our company's performance and projections, and employees that are informed are more likely motivated to their goal, because they need to know is the work that I'm doing, is it have a real effect? But if they don't get this feedback of how the business is doing, it's sort of like a gerbil in the cage. I'm doing all this great work and stuff like that, but does it have any effect? Am I getting anywhere? Am I helping my company get anywhere? Right? So the next part when we talk about team, it's how do we measure teamwork? Is how do we create engaged employees? So there's several ways for us to see if our efforts to maintain a culture is paying off. And that is by measuring teamwork performance. And there's actually a lot of great assessments that I use with my clients to help them measure that and to put a number to that so we could see how we're improving in our teamwork along the way. But this is what sort of an engaged team looks like. First is they show up, right? Attendance is a good indicator of how inspired or motivated your employees are. If they keep missing work, boom, that's an easy red tail sign. Problem, Will Rogers, right? So next is efficiency. Is how well is our team meeting guidelines and being prepared for what they do? These are a reflection of the instructions and also the tools that are in place in order to be effective, right? And then the next one is helpfulness. Is how helpful are the employees within the team or within our customer base? These are good overall of indicators of morale. Does our team have a me mentality, or do we have a we mentality or a we attitude, right? And that's what we want to do. That's what teamwork is all about. It's not about me, it's about we, right? And does our team members show initiative, right? This is a great sign of fulfillment and satisfaction if they are showing the initiative of coming up with their ideas on their own and taking ownership of how can I make this a better place to work, or how can we serve our company or community better. Another measure is the quality of the work, right? This is reflective, again, on the environment of the workplace and where the work is being done. So it's, even though the quality is, we have some responsibility and take some ownership if the quality isn't where it should be, right? So are we creating the right environment for them to be able to deliver the best quality of product or service or whatnot? And then this is actually an interesting thing that I think that a lot of businesses have sort of gotten away from, but I think it's really important. And what made me think about this is, if you ever seen the TV show is Undercover Boss, where this boss goes into disguise as a new employee and sort of sees what it's like to be a new employee and working within this company and who the leaders are and whatnot. And so and they come away with this epiphany of a big, what I call BFO, blinding flashes of the obvious, is like, oh wow, these are some challenges that we're really having. And we're sitting in this pedestal and looking down on the business. We don't get this perspective of what's happening on the ground floor of our business, where really that's where the connection with our customers is, right? So we need to stay engaged with these daily performance of our company. And this is how we could develop and stay in tune with the pulse of our employee satisfaction and performance. So one way for us to do it is not, we don't have to sneak in, it's just, but periodically start working directly with your teams. Maybe working and answering customer service phones within customer service, or working, instead of you being the receptionist, you start working with and doing the receptionist work for a day. Again, to see what this person is going through, what their day is like, because now you can have a perspective of how do I make it easier for them, right? Maybe spending a day with your sales team, not evaluating them, but actually selling with them and working with them and being a comrade, if you will. But it's like whatever you decide, just being in the mix makes you accessible and gives your employees a sense of belonging. It keeps you at the heart of your business, living by your values, because that's what you really want to show and get across. So when we're dealing with this and we're going in there, we want to deal with and focus on the strength of our team, right? Part of what makes a strong company culture is recognizing and playing to individual strengths. Most inspired people are the ones who are valued for what they do, rather than being recognized for where they fall short. And it was the other day I heard a interview online with Nick Saban, who's the head football coach of Alabama, the Alabama Crimson Tide, right? Probably one of the most successful college football coaches in our generation, right? And so before taking his job and before he took Alabama, he was a coach a lot. He was somewhat successful, but hadn't really shown the success that he has shown at Alabama right now. And the interviewer was asking about it. And he said that, before he took the job with Alabama, he was the head coach for the Miami Dolphins. And he said the thing that he had learned by being an NFL coach was that he had to coach each player differently. He couldn't have a cookie cutter approach to their practices, but he had to bring it down to the individuals. He had to play to his players' strengths. So because being reminded of weaknesses does not produce productivity, but being acknowledged for strengths creates an overwhelming inspirational environment for you to work out of. So now once we sit there and we're becoming successful, how do we stay on top? Getting there is easier. As Ava says, we're number 2, but we try harder. I think they just became number 1 because I think Hertz just filed for bankruptcy. I just read a little while ago. But in the world of business, it's ever changing, especially in this COVID or post-COVID age that we're in right now. As if you're listening to this, we are now, as I'm saying this, we're now just starting to come out of the shutdown, and businesses are beginning to open up again after the COVID thing. And then even though, we've been staying firm in our values, it's crucial for the success of our businesses is to continue to learn and change so that we stay ahead of the curve. To be able to grow and to succeed in business, we need to learn how to pivot. And I think that is probably the greatest lesson that business owners learn, and I hope that they take it with them past this COVID crisis that's coming in there, is how to pivot. Because the most successful companies out there was that they learned to pivot when it wasn't a crisis. And they saw where the businesses was stuck, and they figured out, how do we need to change, staying within our core philosophy, be able to help our customers better. The reason we need to pivot is not necessarily because we change, but our clients change. Our clients' needs change. And that's what we're seeing right now as we're coming out of this lockdown, is our clients' needs even though they still want to use our products and services, but their needs of why they want to use it is different than before, right? And so those are the things that we need to sit down and to focus. So we need to stay up on trends in the market and the design world to make sure that our brand stays relevant and our product really continues to serve its purpose. And sometimes the purpose might change because our clients' purpose change. Hope that makes sense. So, part of success is failure. And how do we embrace our failure? Because every business has experienced failure, whether it is a product, an employee, or a service failure. Every one of us has experienced failure along the way to our success in life. So one of the best ways to feed your company culture and continue growing your business is to openly address failure. Failure can lead to more failure unless you're looking or willing to look at each failure and use it to your advantage and to be able to help promote or propel your future success. Because we need to embrace failure as an opportunity to learn. And that's really a key principle in success in the 21st century, as always. And then when we sit down when we look down into our core focus and things is, how do we make a difference outside of ourselves? See, as a business owner, we strive to make the environment within our company great and make it an inspired place to work. And we should also endeavor to make the world outside our company a great place to live, right? So creating a brand comes with that responsibility of making an impact at the employee and customer level, but your brand, our company can also serve a greater purpose by way of taking sustainability measures, right? How do we help the environment, or even focusing on a community-based cause. So giving back to our community or the world at large shows our dedication to our values, and it goes above and beyond in setting your company apart from the rest. So, if you connect with a community-based cause because it's tied to your why and your coaches and your focus, then everybody that you touch within that organization has a shared focus. And they will want to do business with you because they believe in the same things that you believe in. Does that make sense? And that's how we become more successful in our lives, our community, and whatnot. And so the most important thing that we need to do is as we become and living these principles is that we need to celebrate success. And it's really important to celebrate success and our wins with our employees and also even with our clients is we need to have fun. Sometimes we can't take ourselves too seriously, right? So to keep a company culture of motivated, engaged employees strong, we need to take some time to celebrate these successes. And it provides a validation or acknowledgement of the work being performed. So, what are some different fun ideas that you could have? Sometimes it's not always fun to people. Their pocketbook is always a good, fun place to start. It allows them to have the freedom and fun to spend the money where they want. But sometimes a small bonus or just even a simple gift card of letting them go out to dinner and is a way of saying thank you for, hey, a job well done, or having family barbecues and creating more of just a team, but a family environment-based business. Having a special awards for high-performing departments, or holding a all-company town hall, if you will, meeting that celebrates your company's successes and business success. It's like with my clients, most of them are holding a annual team alignment that aligns the team to the company's goals and the culture for the year ahead. And we also celebrate the company and the team's successes and give out awards to the people that live the points of culture the best, right? And that's a really interesting thing is we celebrate, because if we want them to live our points of culture, our business success behaviors, we need to recognize the people that are doing it so people see what we want, the behaviors that we want. It's as simple as that. So finally, we're going to end up that we need to have, be us as leaders, we need to be open to feedback, right? We need to improve to become better leaders. And sometimes we are blinded by our own self-love that we don't know what we need to do to improve the situation we're in. So asking feedback from our employees is a great way to assess our own performance. It's a constructive way to reflect, to grow, and for us to succeed as a leader. When's the best time to ask for this feedback? Is maybe after or before meetings, company meetings starts. What are we doing good? What are we doing bad? What can I do to help serve you better? At your annual reviews with particular employees, or if you do quarterly reviews, or just really in the moment, just sort of get us some feedback of what is it that we need to do to improve our situation. You see, the most successful companies promote open and honest communication, and that has to go both ways. So this is really important. And the last statement I want to say here is not to forget that your response after receiving feedback is just as important as asking for it. And so if you sit down and someone says something that's critical of you or how you're performing, don't try to justify your behavior. Don't try to respond back to them. Just say thank you and internalize it and sort of see what are they trying to tell you. Maybe they're not expressing it exactly right, and that's what makes it, but there's something in there's a core that we don't see of ourselves that we need to figure out how to better or to improve. Hope that makes sense to you. So we've covered a lot within the last half hour, 45 minutes or so, and so now you should be boom off. You should understand what these success principles are that will take and lead your company to a successful future. And I hope the teachings that we've done here today has left you with some great tools to start implementing what you've learned here today. So again, I want to thank you, and I want to make this an opportunity that I always do is offer you if you got a lot of this information and you're struggling on how you want to apply it to your business, or even how I can help you apply it to your business, I'm offering everybody who's watching this webinar is a free coaching session. And we'll look at what we learned here. How do we apply it? What are been some of your bottlenecks of implementing this and that keeping you from moving with these strategies and implementing these principles into your business? So to be able to do that, call the phone number down below, or there's my website again, is actioncoachjax.com. Click on the button that says free coaching session, and we'll get back with you and set up a time to sit down and really look at your business, see where you are now, where you want to go, and what are the bottlenecks that are keeping you from getting there. So again, I want to thank everybody for joining us today. Have an awesome day. Be safe, stay successful, and most importantly, we are going to have a great and prosperous year. Take care. Bye.